Hi everybody, Jo here. Thanks so much for popping in again. As always, lovely to spend time with you. And today we're going to create this gorgeous little design look. I've turned this into a birthday card. I've put the birthday wishes sentiment on it, but I think you could use it for so many different occasions. And we're going to be adding some embossing powder, some of our lovely foil, and I think just creating a nice twist on a panel design. I know we've done panel designs before, but as you know, I like to just put a bit of a twist on it. So especially if your mojo's gone, it's nice to have a design you know, but then add in a little bit of a twist. Well, I think so anyway. So I hope you do. So time to plump up your cushions. If you need to make a brew, maybe just pause me, put that kettle on, get a nice brew. Now, as always, I've decorated my envelope. I've just stamped in the bottom left-hand corner, ready so I can pop my address and my stamp there, and my postage stamp, and Posca on there, and permanent ink. So if it gets wet, it's not a problem. So I'm going to put this here, and I'm going to come in with a piece of Multifarious card, and this is 5.5 inches square. And I'm just going to get my low tack tape, which I put to one side. And obviously, as always, can't reach it, can you? Isn't it funny how things can get out of your reach? I don't know if my arms are shrinking. So I've got my lovely Lavinia low tack tape here. And I'm just going to put a couple of, I sort of want it off centre. So I'm thinking at the top, I'm just going to use the grid. I don't want my panel to be directly in the centre. I mean, you could do if you wanted. So I'm thinking, I'm just going to turn it round. So I'm just going to have that space at the top. And then let's see at the bottom. So if I put that top of my card on the grid, what do I think about there? Maybe just go a bit higher. This is the worst bit, you know. I do mess. I really do. Right, come on, stop messing, girl. But you know when you've got something in your mind and you want a certain size panel, see, I want it higher than that. Right. I bet that's about 2. I'm just adding the extra for when I stamp, because knowing me, I'll stamp right over that. If I don't put extra tape here, I know what I'm like. So I've got a larger space at the bottom, which is what I want. And I'm going to come in first with the Elements ink, and it's the Mermaid, just to add some colour, just some base colour. And as always, I'm blending off on the lid. And just watch you don't move your tape. I've done this before when I've been busily stenciling with my brush and I've moved the tape up. So I want to try and keep the tape. And I'm going to start in the corners. So circular motions. I know we start in the corners because I want the corners deeper, but I'm sort of holding my tape down, if that makes sense. And then I'm going to ink up again, and we'll start in this top corner. Circular motions. And I'm using the number 7 stencil brush, just because I felt that was a better size. And I'm just going to blend round. Now I've got less ink on my brush, I'm just going to blend those edges out. I almost want a white sort of hue in the middle, so I'm just going to go round. And I think I just want that corner a little bit deeper, maybe that corner a bit deeper. Yeah, I think they're all okay now. So that was the Mermaid. Again, you could choose any colour tone you like. Seems to be having a bit of a blue phase. One of the ladies at the workshop at the weekend pointed that out. So I think we do have phases, don't we? I think it's because I'm purposely trying not to use orange all the time. So the stamp I've chosen to use is the beautiful Bellflower Vine, and I thought I haven't used this for a while. So I'm just going to turn it round and stamp the first from the top. So I just find it easy to turn my work round. And I'm going to use the permanent ink, the Versafine Clair, the Nocturne. Just check my block's nice and clean. So this one I want sort of in the middle, sort of hanging down there. And again, because we've got the tape, be mindful to just press a bit harder where the stamp goes, because you've got a bit of an edge with the tape and you just want that to stamp beautifully. I'm going to turn it round. Now, you know what? You could leave it just with one. I think that's lovely. You could maybe introduce a bit of background stenciling. Now, that's the beauty of this design. I think you could make this 2 or 3 times and just alter the design slightly. And I'm just coming in at the base. And this is why I put extra tape, because I'm always that busy looking at this bit of the stamp, I forget to look at the other bit. And before now, I've stamped over. If I only put one lot of tape, I've stamped over the tape. Like I say, it's handy when we know what we're like. I know what I'm like. I get so engrossed in what I'm doing. Don't know if you're the same. Sometimes I forget the most simplest of things. Now, let me see. I think this one will go there. And again, I'm being mindful where the tape is here to give it a bit of extra oomph. But it's such a pretty stamp. And I didn't want it purposely to be symmetrical, so I like the way it's sort of offset a little bit. And I'm going to come in just to add some colour with my watercolour pencils. And if I can open the lid, I'm going to go for, I definitely want the blue. And then I want a light green and a dark green. So first of all with the green, and again you can colour this however you wish to colour it. So I'm just going to colour roughly the, I almost think these are petals that come round. I mean, again, sometimes I add colour to these bits. Today I'm colouring them green, so they're almost like petals coming round over a bud. And I'm just going to lean on this. Your Versafine Clair will dry slower on the tape, so be mindful if you lean on the tape and it's got the ink on, it will dry slower, so you may get it on your hand. And I just think that's the way of me getting marks on, because I want some white on this card. So it's all these things that it's good practices to get into, so we minimise. I mean, I'm going to add a couple of butterflies to this card design, but it's because I want them, not because I need them. Right, so with the dark green now, I'm just going to add a little bit to the base, and then I'm just going to go down the middle of each leaf. So the base of the flower here, just to add a bit of shade. And as you'll notice, I am leaving some white bits because you could either use your water brush to come in. I'm just going to use my Wink of Stella and do some Wink of Colour in. I love this, and I'm so chuffed the way it's taken off. You know, when I see other people doing it and it just becomes like a known technique, it really makes me so happy. But I just think it's such an easy thing to do, and it saves having to add water and then glitter. It saves that step because you do it in one go. So I'm going for blue for the middle of this bud. I think I've got them all, but don't worry, if not, we can come back. So Wink of Stella, again, you could use water, but for me, this will just blend, but also it'll add that beautiful glitter. And look how it just blends. So I'm doing the green first. Now, this will be lovely if you did a matching tag. If you were making this for a birthday card and you bought your friend a present, you could make a lovely gift tag to go with this. And again, it doesn't take long, look. But if you want to spend your time, sorry, excuse me, and add the colour slower and really take your time and enjoy it, you know, that would be a lovely thing to do. I mean, I know quite a few of you make cards for charity, and this would be a lovely one to batch card make. And as I say, the design is quite generic. So I think I've finished with all the green. So on my copy paper, look, because the end of your brush will get slightly green. So get it back to clear and then in with the blue. And then when I've finished all that, again, the end of the brush will be a little bit blue. Just clean it on my copy of paper. And I think we've got them all coloured. But look at that. So I just want to add a little bit of something to the background. So I'm going to come in with my fan brush and just add some faux bleaching. Just some little water splats. Just so it adds a little bit of interest. And again, I can give it a bit of a blot just to see how much. And what we'll do is we'll leave that to faux bleach. So I'm just going to pop that to one side. And what we can do is make a couple of butterflies. So, and I use, look at this, I use really little scraps of card for this. So this is a pound butterfly. We're going to come in with the Versamark ink and our lovely Wow embossing powder, and this is rose gold. So lid off before we start. And we'll stamp 2 on here. Now, you need to be quite speedy. Versamark ink, a sticky ink, but you need to get that embossing powder on pretty sharpish. And you can put the whole lot on, look. But once you've actually got the embossing powder on, there's no rush then. You could actually leave that and come back and heat it up after you've had your lunch or after you've had a coffee. You know, if you want to go and put some washing in. The only little bit you need to rush is when you've put your sticky ink and getting your powder on. And I just like to tap every little bit back. I mean, it is just magical because there's always so much. Now, we're going to heat this. Now, when it comes to heating it, remember, it's good to have your heat tool warmed up before you start. So this is the Wow, this is the embossing tool. It is noisy. So excuse the noise, but just heat it up before you start. And once you've heated it up, you'll see it on your butterfly. Look at that, can you see the difference between the two? So again, we'll move on to this one. No need to waft, just move from one to the other and you can see it's gone shiny and it's raised. If you overheat it, it will go flat and it won't be raised. Now, to add a bit of colour to this, just so it matches, all we're going to do is pop a little bit of Mermaid on our matte look. And the heat embossing almost forms a sort of a gutter. So you can just, and we're going to cut it out, so you can even go right over the top, look. And this way I know they'll match. So again, I would batch card make and do a whole lot of these. And then all you do is cut them out, look. And you don't want to see me cutting out. But all your little offcuts, you can get some fabulous butterflies on your offcuts. The little rose set, that is good. So I save every little bit we want to use, but make sure you use it. I know before now, when I've looked and I've got sort of so much offcuts and I save so many and I think, right, you've got to start using some. So back to this look and that faux bleaching. But what I'm going to do, I'm happy that it is dry, but I'm going to come in with my heat it tool and just heat it. 2 things. It'll make sure that this is dry, but also it'll just make sure that my low tack tape, it'll melt the glue behind it and it'll come off even better. I mean, Lavinia low tack tape comes off very well, but a bit of heat on it will just heat from the back. And then when we peel that off, look, beautiful. So we've got that lovely, lovely design. But the next bit, this is the exciting bit I want to show you. I'm going to be using, I'll pop that up there, our beautiful fab foils. Now these are from Wow, and they come in lots of colours. Must admit, I bought this lovely blush. I've not opened it yet. So that could be for another project. The one I'm going to use is Rose Gold. And that's why I chose the Rose Gold embossing powder, because again, just to make it that lovely cohesive design. Now you get an awful lot on this, 1 metre. And look, so I've just cut a piece, just sort of the width of my card. Now, I wanted to come in and show you a different way of attaching it. I know there's quite a lot of, I know Emma Jo and I know Mandy have done videos using the Quickie Glue, and I know Tracy's done some, so you can use the Quickie Glue pen. But like I say, it's no good as all doing the same technique. So I thought I'd come in with our lovely extra sticky red liner tape. Now, the hardest bit with this is finding the end, so bear with me. Oh, there we go. I found it. And I'm just going to pop it on this border here. Now, I have to make sure I get it correct because, as you know, it is very sticky. So there's one side. And I'll trim that in a minute. I find it easier to go sort of over the card. And I'm just going to put some. Now this, you could make a frame, you could frame your card. Honestly, it's fabulous. So I just want to trim this edge, get rid of that little bit, and then trim this edge. Now, as I say, what I've done is I've got myself a piece that's already cut. Look, you can see I've already used this, but I've also got myself one of our number 3 brushes, and this is a clean one. It's a new one, and I'm keeping this for my foil. Just for me, I found it gave me the best result. And I'm just going to get my scissors. As you know, the hardest bit can be getting this foil off, and this little sticky bit, oh, sticks. So just going to place my foil over there, and I found for me the best way was just to run my little brush, and as I say, this is a clean one. I bought a new one just for this purpose. I know you can rub your fingers on it, but it's like everything. Oh, my tummy was rumbling then, I do apologise. I always think you just find something that works. I mean, it might be you have a tool that's perfect for this, in which case, you know, you carry on with that. You just find what works for you. And the other thing I found is doing this, even if it doesn't work perfectly the first time, you just keep adding to it. I'll show you what I mean. So if I just lift this off, look. So there's a little bit there that hasn't taken quite. So I'll just see if I can get that to take any more. If not, I'll go back over it. It's not to worry. It's taken a bit. It's just a tiny bit. And it's a little bit like sort of rub-on. So we're sort of rubbing it. It was a bit there. And that's where I find this brush so good. And you will take your time. So what I'm going to do is just peel the whole thing off, look. And there's a couple of bits, as you can see. So I'm just going to go back in and just see if I can fill those. If they don't, do you know what? I don't mind, because I almost think it adds to that vintage effect. It doesn't have to be perfect. So I'm sorry if my head comes over. I'm just... Right, I'm happy with that. And I'm just going to go over with my brush. Right, yeah, happy with that. Now you'll get a bit of a funny shine from the light. So we'll do the other side. But when I've done this, I'm thinking of all the different borders we can do. If you just want to add a, as I say, a frame around something. So because I want to be thrifty, I'll see if I can almost match this edge, look. Right, let's see. And again, you will take longer. But it's quite addictive. Oh, look, that's looking, yeah. I just love this, peeling it off and looking underneath, look. Yes. Right, tiny little bit there. I just want to see if I can catch that little bit there. It's just me being a bit fussy. It's a bit there. And look, I mean, how many more will I be able to do from that? I mean, I love this. Look at that. That almost looks like it should be going on a card in itself. Right. Yeah, really happy with that. And because it's just a bit different, and I just think it's lovely to take a design that we know and love and just add something, you know, put another twist on it. So let's come in with our birthday wishes. I like to add that after the foil. I just find it works for me. I've got a bit of ink on my block. And this is one of the new acrylic blocks. I love that they're just so easy to hold. So again, sorry if my head comes in. I just want to get that just perfect. Oh, lovely. Perfect there. And then just so it all, I want some on my finished, I've got some gold splatters, look. Again, just to bring in that rose gold to help with that cohesive design. So I'm coming in with the Posca, and this is the small nib. So you can still get splats with your small nib. But what I do need to do, I don't want them on the white bit of the card. I want to keep that white. So I'm just going to cover that there and that there. Weight that down. And we'll just come in and add a few. Lovely. And again, I'm just guiding it where I want. And if you don't, I know not everybody likes the Posca splats, so if you don't like them, obviously you can leave that bit off. And if I turn that round, I just think that's so beautiful. Now to finish off, I'm going to bring in those two little butterflies that we cut out. And as you notice, I cut the antennae off, but don't worry because I'm going to draw them on. I've got the gel pen, the Signo, and this is the bronze. I've got a gold somewhere, but it's those craft little fairies, pixies, whoever they are, have hidden it from me. So we'll come in with the bronze. And I'm thinking maybe this one will have that facing that way. And then maybe, oh, I quite like that there in the middle there. Right. Going to go for that. So just going to draw them on there. And then there. And then our lovely glue, our Lavinia glue, Bippity Boppity glue. Thanks, Kev. Great name for me to say. And I'm just going to pop that one there. And I'm just putting the glue in the middle. And we'll pop this one here. Just hold it down for a couple of seconds. And again, make sure you put that lid on. You don't want it to dry out. So I'll cut that. I've got some butterflies there, dry ready, look, to cut out. And I'll be popping those in my tin, my butterfly tin. And then that's the finished design. But I just love that way of adding the foil. I think it really frames. And do you know what? I think Christmas, I think that would be a lovely addition. So quite often at Christmas, I like to choose a different design each year. But I'm thinking I could do a panel design, even if it's similar, using a stamp I've used before. But I could add the foil, and that'll give my card a whole different look. So I think that'll be lovely for Christmas. And think about how many cards. You see, look, I reckon I could get another. So I've got 2, 3, 4, possibly 5 out of that piece. And I've got all this left, look. So it would go a long way. So I'm definitely thinking Christmas. So that's the one we made before, and that's the one we've created today. So I'm hoping you like that idea. I can't wait to see what you do. What colours have you got? What you're going to use in your panel. Now again, I've gone across. I've got a horizontal panel. What about doing a vertical panel? See, mine's going on a 6x6 card. But again, beautiful on a DL card, wouldn't it? It would use more foil and more tape, but it would be beautiful. Oh, so many options. And that's what I like to do. Just come in and whet that crafty appetite. Get them juices flowing so that you're going to go off now and hopefully create a beautiful design. So please tag me in. I love to see what you make. And it's so nice because your inspiration and your work, it just inspires others. And then other crafters will have a go. And that's what we need to do, is help each other out. Because you're all fabulous, you know. So proud of you all. Anyway, I'm off to have a coffee. So you take care. Love and hugs from me. Bye for now.